People can catch your brokerage on what show?
On TLC. Yeah, I have made a couple appearances on TLC because, our office is fun. Yeah. So I have 3 rules at my office. No backstabbing. You got to be a little bit of fun. And no drama unless you're on TLC. We have a lot of fun. And it's honestly pretty cool to be on national TV.
Yep.
5 minutes of fame. Hey.
Thanks for joining us on another REI-NWA Podcast. My name is Coley Bailey. I'm the principal broker at Lone Rock Realty, and this is episode 53, and we're going to be talking about regional investing all around Northwest Arkansas. So outside the main corridor, so not Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, or Fayetteville, but some of the surrounding towns. So Pea Ridge. We do have a main meeting coming up where we're going to also include Madison County and Huntsville and Siloam Springs, a little bit of eastern Oklahoma. So we've got a full panel of folks coming in. But today on the podcast, talking about Pea Ridge, we have Mitzi Taylor.
Hey, nice to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Excited you finally invited me.
Yes, I'm glad really to dig into your story. You've been an amazing top producing agent and broker here in Northwest Arkansas for a long time. Everybody looks up to Mitzi Taylor.
Oh, I'm blushing. Thank you.
Well, I certainly do. And recently you bought Exit so you've got Exit Taylor Real Estate in Pea Ridge.
Yep, that's correct. Not only in Pea Ridge, but I also have a Bentonville office.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us how that came about after you give us the lead up.
Okay.
Like where you're from, like how you got to doing what you're doing now, all the way into getting started with this new brokerage.
Okay, so you want the whole backstory.
I'd love to hear the whole story.
All right, guys, buckle up. Here's the drama. No, just joking. So I started back in 2013 as a part-time agent with Berkshire Hathaway. The whole reason I got my real estate license was, believe it or not, and it's going to be hard for some people around here to believe, but the subdivision I lived in back at that time, you couldn't sell it and make any money. Right? That seems like a joke today, but it was the truth. So I thought...
Because the prices were so low?
Yeah, it's just it wasn't worth as much.
Yeah.
You just couldn't build any equity. We always said the subdivision was upside down.
Okay.
So I got my real estate license thinking, a lot of times some companies will let you, if it's your own, maybe not pay as much commission on one side than the other. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get my license. Maybe I can save a little bit since I'm not going to make any money on the house and just kind of get out of it. And so that's kind of how it started.
You got your license to sell your own house.
I did in 2013 while I worked for a Walmart vendor.
Okay.
So I worked 2.5 years for a Walmart vendor, and then I decided that I had passion on it. And that's the thing. It's not only relationships, but to be really good in real estate, you have to have a passion.
Yeah.
A passion for helping others. And, I'm not the real estate agent or the brokerage that wants to push anybody into a certain price point. I don't care what they buy, because I'm going to sell them something. Mm-hmm. And I don't have to live there. My clients do.
Right.
So it's always the most important thing to make sure that they love where they're at. I decided, I was really good at it. I had some passion. I'd bought a few leads. I was doing really well. Actually, I was doing more part-time as some of the current full-time agents.
Yeah.
So after 2.5 years, I decided I got an opportunity to move over to Cry-Like, and I was only there a few months. But what it did, they kind of paid me just a tiny salary to be the executive broker. I've always had my broker's license. 2 years in, you can get your broker's license, and so I've always had it since I was 2 years in. But going over to Cry-Like allowed me, the opportunity to bridge the gap. I've always, made the most money at my house. I had a vendor job. I made good money. So I couldn't just up and quit cold turkey. It's hard. Real estate, believe it or not, we don't just cash big checks.
Right.
It is expensive to have your real estate license and all. So I did that for about 3 months, and then I got an opportunity to go to work running an office for one of pretty big builders in Northwest Arkansas, RLP Investments, and I'm very, very thankful to Mr. Russ Plumley and all the experience that I gained there. So I ran his offices for 8 years, and then it's always been my dream and passion to have my own company.
Yeah.
So, after a lot of thought and prayer, it was just time to open my own company. And so a couple years ago, I started my own company. And it was originally called NWA Taylor Real Estate. But then this last year, I got introduced to the brand Exit. It's a franchise. And so my good friend Toma Carlton, which I dearly love, and I know him, I've known him for 20 years, had moved up from Gulf Shores, Alabama, and he was telling me about it. So the one thing about an independent brokerage is you don't have systems and tools.
Right.
I had 8 agents, but they were only there because they loved me.
Yeah.
Because they knew I was a broker they could count on. I always had time for them and everything like that. But I really didn't have systems, tools, technology in place to grow my brokerage.
Yeah.
So once I was introduced to Exit by Toma, I'm like, wow, this is a great fit. So I had a rental house. I sold it. I took money from that and purchased the franchise. I started out with the Pea Ridge area franchise, but I knew in order to really grow my company, even though I'm from Pea Ridge, I graduated from Pea Ridge High School, not yesterday, but, not forever ago, but I knew that I needed to be in Bentonville, because Bentonville has Walmart, right? And so I decided I wanted to buy the Bentonville territory with the Exit brand. And so I did, and currently up to 22 agents.
Wow, congrats.
So we're growing in a year. We've done very well. We're growing. We're, doing a pretty good volume and helping a lot of people.
Yep.
So that's kind of the backstory on me.
And people can catch your brokerage on what show?
On TLC. Yeah, I have made a couple appearances on TLC because, our office is fun. Yeah. So I have 3 rules at my office. If you're thinking about becoming an agent or you're an agent and you're looking for a place, if you can fit into my rules, then maybe you might work for me. But 1, no backstabbing. You got to be a little bit of fun and no drama unless you're on TLC.
Okay.
So Big Ed, who is on TLC, 90 Day Fiancé, he brings a very fun dynamic to our office.
Okay.
He's a great guy. We have a lot of fun. And it's honestly pretty cool to be on national TV.
Yep.
5 minutes of fame. Hey, if you need my autograph, just let me know.
Okay. We'll do that right after. So let's talk a little bit about Pea Ridge.
Okay, let's talk about Pea Ridge.
Like I said, we've got the main meeting coming up. We're going to have a couple of speakers that are going to be there. You are going to be talking about Pea Ridge. We've got Lori Hawkins that's going to be talking about Huntsville and Madison County. And my good friend Robert Smiley is going to be talking about Siloam Springs and a little bit of eastern Oklahoma there. But when it comes to Pea Ridge, what is the big opportunity there for investors, and for folks that are looking to get into that market?
Okay, so Pea Ridge. Pea Ridge is if you're familiar with the area, it's like another Centerton. We have just blown up in the last couple of years. And
we do have a few investors that are out of the area that have been watching the podcast. So Pea Ridge is to the east of Bentonville.
Yes,
right?
that is correct.
Yeah.
It's to the east, kind of toward Eureka Springs and all.
Yeah.
So it's really considered a bedroom community because we've got, we do have some businesses, but not a lot. Most people either work for Walmart or a vendor, Tyson, JB Hunt, and they, commute. We do have a new mayor, Mayor Nathan C., who I've known forever. We grew up, going to the same church and everything. And he really has kind of brought the town to life. He's been bringing in all kinds of new business. We got a new Casey's getting ready to open. We've got different restaurants. So we're growing. We're still not where we need to be as far as businesses.
Yeah.
The investment opportunity I see for investors is, if I was an investor, I would buy a REI-NWA home in Pea Ridge, because those are the most affordable. They just reduced one today to $249,900. Brand new construction, $250,000.
Yep.
Okay, can you get that in Bentonville? No.
No, definitely not with a yard and with a,
Yeah.
like a full house. No.
Exactly. I just showed one today to my cousin because she's looking, and in fact, the one that they just reduced to $250,000 is 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, and so Pea Ridge is going to appreciate very quickly.
Yeah.
And so, brand new house, they say you're usually not going to have to do anything to a new house as far as maintenance wise within 3 to 5 years.
Yep.
Okay, so, and we're getting high rent. It's about 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 square feet. You're probably looking at $1,300, $1,500 dollars a month in rent. So that's just the most affordable option.
Yep.
So if I was an investor, I say buy new construction in Pea Ridge, and you can't go wrong.
Yep.
Because right now we are seeing a big population boom. Just to give you an idea how quickly we've grown, I pulled some stats. And since the 2020 census, back in 2020, we were at 6,664 people. We are currently at, this year, 9,352, which is an increase by 40% since then, and growing almost 8% every year.
Wow. Is that taxing the city infrastructure, like sewer, water, things like that? Or do you have some projects coming up to expand growth there?
I have the stats, but I don't have it right in front of me. But Pea Ridge does do a good job showing everybody what's going on. If you go to the city of Pea Ridge, it has the project tracker, and you can see exactly how many residential and commercial projects going. There's about 1,500 new construction homes going up right now.
Yep.
Schuber Mitchell's building a lot, C3.
Anderson's out there right now too.
Signature Homes, REI-NWA. I mean, we've got a bunch of big builders building. So I know my office had closed last year on a 100-acre farm that it was actually one of my agent's relatives. And the buyer of that is a developer. And that 100 acres, he just got approved for, I think is right under 300 more homes.
Yeah.
So if a person was to visit Pea Ridge and you headed out on 72 toward the military park, you're going to be in shock.
Yeah.
There's probably 900 houses that are going to be going up through there.
Wow.
They're running water line. They've brought the sewer line down through there. The city has actually bought land out there from Carroll Electric, and they are partnering with the schools to build ball fields and different things like that. So going east out 72, if you can get anybody to part with their farmland, it would be a good investment also. For sure.
To develop out.
Develop. And then also in Pea Ridge, when you first come in town, there's a 4-way, and if you were to go straight on Leetown Road, cutting over to the military park, there was a huge subdivision that had been approved, and then it kind of sat dormant. Well, D.R. Horton came in and bought all that land for like $76,000 an acre, which is insane. But was it? The subdivision was ready to go. All they had to do was put the plow in the ground. And they are moving on, cutting roads everywhere. It's just crazy. So Pea Ridge is booming, and it's the place to be. We definitely need more businesses. But the problem is also there's no place for the businesses to go right now. We're really behind. Residential's ahead of commercial growth. In fact, right where my office is, right by the high school, I want to develop my 1.5 acres, but I have no sewer. So there's pockets of Pea Ridge that do not have sewer. And so I basically cannot wait.
Is it just an elevation problem, or is it just a capacity problem right now?
So back in the day, previously
Yeah.
in the running of the town, what I was told was they didn't plan well.
Yeah.
They didn't plan well as far as the water lines on how big they are and things tying in and everything. So it's not really that. I've got to wait till the landowner across the highway brings over the sewer so I can bore under the road.
Okay.
And then beside me is 2 other big commercial tracks. But they can't do anything either without sewer.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on halt there. So there's a few pockets in Pea Ridge that are county. Well, I'm actually city, but we don't have sewer, but there are some other pockets of the county.
Right.
So it's just kind of a mixture. But, the mayor, Nathan C., he's making progress and he's trying. So,
It's one of those things people don't think about. They think, oh, I'm buying something in a town. I'm sure it's going to have sewer and water and all this. No, you have to check. You always have to check.
You do, because I'm right next to the high school.
Right, yeah.
So that was my thing. What do you mean I don't have sewer?
Yep.
But apparently the school tied in the back to that subdivision, so it's not close.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's like I helped somebody buy a lot here in Fayetteville, but it's so far up one of the mountains that it actually doesn't get water pressure.
Oh, wow.
So they can't actually put city water to it. So in order to get water to it, you would actually have to drill a well all the way through a mountain, all the way down into the water table.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. And it's in the city limits,
Yeah, that is crazy. Another stat that I came across, I thought it was interesting about Pea Ridge was because there are big investors out there, and especially of some of these bigger subdivisions that are going in, they're buying 10 houses at a time to rent.
Yeah.
Because outside investors can see what some of the local investors can't.
Right.
Because a lot of that too, I think, is around here, it's kind of a sticker shock.
It is.
You know? And so being from California or some other places where they think this is cheap, it's just not to us.
Right.
So I think that's why they can kind of see. But one of the stats is 72.5% of houses in Pea Ridge are actually owner occupied, and renters is 27.5%.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting that, the people that live in Pea Ridge, pretty much they all own their home.
Yeah.
So there's only 25%, 27% that are renters.
Yep.
So, but again, if you're an investor, I say buy.
There's an opportunity
There is opportunity.
Yeah.
And right now there's opportunity in Roush Coleman. Probably everybody that lives in that subdivision that hears this podcast is not going to like that. But as far as the investment community, that's where I would say invest.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on that particular product or that price range of product because you have a lot of people who are trying to get started in home ownership that are jumping into that. You've got investors that want it. You've got people who are trying to downsize that also want that. They might sell a bigger home, move into that one, and then use a lot of that equity as part of their retirement funds too. There's a lot of pressure on that product right now.
Yeah. And, for me, being from Pea Ridge, growing up in Pea Ridge, the median home price is about $325,000 to $350,000.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money.
It is, yeah.
And, if you don't work for Walmart or a vendor or something, it just, as we've heard across the board regionally, it's hard to find affordable housing for folks.
Yeah. Which, it's one of those things across the region. We would like to see more businesses coming in and other businesses being here and getting started here and growing. We love Walmart, but
yeah, we do.
And Tyson and we've got some big employers.
Yeah, for sure.
But it would still be great for the employment situation to have more.
Yeah, or just for Pea Ridge, we need something besides Mexican and pizza.
Yeah.
If we could get a chicken restaurant or something, the town would be super happy.
Yeah, there you go.
But
a nice steakhouse.
Yeah, we'll take anything. Yeah. I mean, because we love Mexican food too, but we just need some more options. That's what we need is options.
Well, that's a good opportunity.
Good opportunity. Pea Ridge, like I said, it's the next Centerton.
Yeah.
It's blowing up. Good opportunity. I mean, I've got a little quote here from the mayor that he said.
Sure.
Mayor C recognizes that the heartbeat of the Pea Ridge community is its people. New people moving to Pea Ridge want a hometown feel while still having access to the larger surrounding cities. Therefore, it's a balancing act for Mayor C to manage how the city can grow and create better quality of life while still remaining true to its heritage. So I think that's true, you know. We all still want a small town feel.
Yep.
You know, we want to be close to the big town, but we still want the small town feel.
Well, I think it's part of the charm of a lot of our area, you know, is those small downtowns. And I hope we can keep that character as we grow in population.
Yeah.
know? I really do.
Yeah, because, you know, the farmland's shrinking.
Yeah.
And everybody likes to see the green space, but, you know, the farmer wants to make money too.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So everybody likes an opportunity. But yeah, you know, hometown feel. Sounds great.
Well, I want to invite everybody to come to our main meeting. It's going to be November 12th, 2024. It's going to be at the Hyatt House in Rogers. We'll get started opening the doors at about 5:30. We'll actually get started with our panel at 6. So make sure to get there early, mix and mingle, get some networking in. That's why you come to REI. And we're going to have, again, 2 other speakers. We're going to have Lori Hawkins and Robert Smiley. So we'll be talking again about Pea Ridge, Madison County, Huntsville area, the Siloam Springs, and East Oklahoma areas as well, and talking about regional opportunities where you might be able to pick up your next investment property. So come on out and meet all the speakers, meet Mitzi, and we'll see you there. Thanks for watching this episode. We'll catch you on the next one.